Welcome boys to the class of additional English. At the very outset, let me speak about the syllabus which has been prescribed by the University of Pune for the students of additional English. The title of your paper is Additional English, and the title of the textbook is Pearls of Wisdom, is the title of the textbook, which has been compiled by the Board of Editors of Savitribai Phule, Pune University, Pune. In case of additional English, you are deliberately introduced with the well-known famous pieces borrowed from the English literature, from American literature, and from Indian literature too. These pieces will definitely make you familiar with the tradition and the culture of the different countries. At the same time, these interesting pieces will definitely help you to enhance your knowledge and will develop your communicative abilities too. Let us see what is there in your syllabus. Before I start explaining about the details of the units which have been given for the students, for you students, let me explain the objectives of this book. See, you are the students of commerce, and the students of commerce, they must be able to read and write properly. It means they must have the ability to communicate properly with others by using the vocabulary, the appropriate words from English language. It means the students of commerce must have the capacity and capability, the knowledge of expressing, the skill of expressing themselves properly in English. The first and foremost objective of this textbook is to develop your communicative abilities, written as well as oral communicative abilities. And the second one is to make you familiar with the tradition and culture of different countries and the literature of different countries. These are the major objectives of this course, of this paper. Let us see unit number 1. In the first unit, you will have an article written by George Orwell. The title of the article is The Sporting Spirit. The Sporting Spirit. This article has been written by George Orwell. In this article, he speaks about the sports and the adverse effects of the sports which have been created in the world. He speaks about the sports, saying that it increases the enmity between the people and between the nations. So, on the one hand, the government offer the amount for the players to visit, to go abroad and play with the players of different countries. On the other hand, he criticizes. Why? The reasons are given in the article itself. In each unit, you have one article or a short story and a poem. The second is a poem in the same unit, The World is Too Much With Us, a poem composed by William Wordsworth. The world is too much with us is a poem composed by William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth is a famous nature poet, well-known nature poet. He belongs to England and he has composed number of poems having the theme taken from the life of the common human beings, and we find the reflection of the nature in each of his poems. So a well-known famous poet, William Wordsworth, and his poem, The World is Too Much With Us, where he insists that man should go back to the nature, is the theme of that poem. Now unit number 2 is about do insect things. Do insect things. This is an interesting article. Do insect things is a question. Do insects think? Written by Robert Benchley. Robert Benchley. In this article, this article has been borrowed from Science, and this article speaks about the very small, minute insects which are present in the nature and their lifetime, their circle, the way they live and interact with each other. He speaks about that. He focuses on the smaller and smallest aspects of the life of the insects. The next one is in the same unit, unit number 2. First one is an article, the second is a poem, The Fortune Teller. The Fortune Teller. This is again a poem composed by Joseph Furtado. Joseph Furtado, F-U-R-T-A-D-O, Furtado. Joseph Furtado is the name of the poet, and the poem, the title is The Fortune Teller. In this poem, poet explains the way a fortune teller tells the fortune to the people, the tricks he uses to deceive the people. Actually, these are the things which he has learned quite from his childhood, from his parents, and he uses those things to make his both ends meet. He uses these tricks to live and lead his life happily. So this poem is about the Indian traditions and cultures, the way the people live in the society, they acquire and make their living happy by using some tricks in the society. The poem also speaks about the tradition and the culture. This poem is a great exponent of Indian way of writing English, where he uses the words borrowed from Indian languages, and he uses them in a very tactful manner in the poem. Unit number 3 an article written by J.C. Hill, and the title of the article is Good Manners. Good Manners. So in this article you will learn the way of living in the society and what kind of expressions to be used on various occasions. The next one is again a poem composed by Rabindranath Tagore, and the title of the poem is Where the Mind is Without Fear. This is a famous poem, a well-known poet, a Nobel Award winner poet, Dr. Rabindranath Tagore, and his poem Where the Mind is Without Fear. The title of the poem is Where the Mind is Without Fear. This poem is about the freedom of India. The theme of the freedom of India is explained in this poem is without fear, and this is an appeal made by poet to God to give the courage and the bravery to the people of India to fight against the Britishers. At the same time, you have in unit number 4 an article written by Stephen Lilock. The title of this article is My Financial Career. This article has been written by Stephen Lilock, and this article is a humorous one. He speaks about Stephen Lilock, where he has given his own experience when the writer visits the bank for the first time and what happens with him. He has given in this article in a very humorous way, which makes us laugh, and you will understand how to write the humorous stories. What is humor? How small humor can be created through different events and episodes which happens around us. In the same unit, the second poem is I Sit and Look Out by Walt Whitman. I sit and look out. I Sit and Look Out is a poem composed by Walt Whitman. Walt Whitman, a famous American poet. This poem is from American literature, composed by Walt Whitman. So, a very simple, ordinary event, episode gives a change to, or it develops the life of a human being, or it brings a lot of changes in the life of human being is given in this poem. So in this way, there are 4 units for this semester. In the first unit, you have a short story or an article and 1 poem. So likewise, you have 4 units in this textbook. You have to study for the first semester, and for the second semester, similar type of syllabus has been introduced by the university, and we shall see the second semester syllabus in our next lecture. Till then, goodbye. See you in the next lecture.